Any one of you lily-livered, bow-legged varmints cat a slab leather with me, well, in case any of you gets any ideas, I better let you know who you're dealing with. I'm the rootinest, tootinest, shootinest, bob-tailed wildcat in the West. I'm the fastest gun north, south, east, and west of the Pecos. What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking and not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is a trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mic. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah, signaling their virtues on their profile.
Make me suck the sushi off this stick.
There we go. Okay. So when that started up, it totally froze for me, and it hasn't moved since. Like, it just showed a picture of me saying, "What are the humans doing?" It froze, and nothing would move it. I thought the whole gizmo had frozen. What is up, Clint Gage? John DeNicola, good to see you. Good Citizen Media, welcome to the show. Watt Life. You know, I hear tell you can grow dragon fruit in Georgia, but you got to do it like you're creating an artificial desert. You have to give it a really, 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 really dry place because it's so very juicy, at least here. You're a little bit further up, I think. So how are we doing this evening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Chilling with Sasquatch, where I am going to show you some videos that will scar your soul or possibly uplift you, depending on what type of twisted psychopath you might be. So, Scotty Waddles, welcome in, brother. So I'm showed on a couple of different shows. I've showed this this video of this stunning and brave young lady who stood up, you know, spoke truth to power by screaming at a cop that they needed to give someone else a ticket. And a miracle has occurred, and I wish to show everyone this miracle because it is absolutely gorgeous. What is up, bro? I'm gonna let that actually tinker in first. You can try again later. It might work next time. So I found this, and it made me so very happy.
During the 5-minute drive, she's had an opportunity to calm herself down.
So I have to follow every f***ing law with that post and leave the f***ing scene without a turn signal? Give him a ticket!
Can you enable this?
He must have a turn signal! Give him a ticket!
You need to go to the...
All right, so it's not this not the greatest thing ever. I mean, I love this guy. I'm going to be following him everywhere and playing like danger music when he goes into dark places. It's going to be great. Exactly. No, we all need this piece of dynamite. We all need to unify on how stupid this woman was acting.
Slide it out. Anything else we can help you with today? No, it's not gonna be. I just want to know, are you okay?
Look, I don't know this guy from Adam's House Cat, but he gets my vote for president, yo. Like, this is the best thing I've seen since chat music.
I can help you talk this out.
How is it so perfect? How? I mean, it's like she was auditioning for him, just him all alone. Oh my.
Can I please call you an ambulance? Do you have any thoughts, findings?
Welcome in, El Perro. This is Chilling with Sasquatch, where we watch the stupid things that make Sasquatch happy. And this makes me very, very happy.
Where the f*** is he?
Where you going?
Shut the f*** up.
If you keep calling 911, you could find out. It's not.
Are you kidding? Alright. People are freaking out.
This reminds me of this dude I went to school with named Jimmy, and you couldn't leave him alone with anything with strings on it because he would start playing theme music for whatever it was that you were doing. So like when you'd start like walking by, he'd do the little pew 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 pew. He would do it for everybody in the room like simultaneously. It was crazy.
You can do that. Jayla, you are in.
I say it's carrying metal, man. This is more than rock. This has a deeper connotation to it. This is literally finding metal in the wild and applying music. It's everything. It's everything right now. It's all I care about.
An emotional state. I can't talk with you.
All of you stupid best, you white privileged mother of it doesn't take me money, and you do it. You what? I wish I was a Catholic to shoot all of you. The God, and get a pat on the back for it. You smell me.
Okay.
That I mean, sir, you get the Sasquatch ovation, brother. You're the one, girl. Hey, John, welcome in. Good to see you. Clint Gage, appreciate you coming through. Peace Dynamo has joined the chat. Yeah, no, that's crazy. I think maybe somebody should really tap that untapped talent that she has. I don't know how well she'd deal with being pissed off every single night, but I figure she's got to get married eventually. Why not to a metal band? Super tastical. What's up, Fletch? Welcome in, brother. So do we go harder or less hard? What do you reckon? I mean, I got a couple of different directions we can go over here. I did a thing with Scully Pop last night. We did a reading of actually I should probably go see if I can hunt that up. We did a reading of James Bond meets Jason Bourne doing a mission against some evil people doing evil things with Treadstone, and I think it went pretty well all the way up until I accidentally turned a chick into a dude with an inappropriate voice change. Harder, duh. Okay. Well, let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, no, this works. This works. I want to show you something that I found. This is a 2-year-old video, and I'm absolutely astounded it took me 2 years to find this.
I've been in the Rocky Mountains all week. I think I was followed home by the abominable snowman. I found where he bedded down. Crocky, mate. That's definitely a Caucasian Sasquatch if I've ever tasted one. I shouldn't have hit on his hot mom. I think he's pissed.
What if the games you played at school?
That is a 2-year-old video. For 2 years, this video floated around and I knew nothing about it. So naturally, yeah, no, I'm gonna play it again because I mean, like, I didn't do this. This guy doesn't know me. I've never heard of him that I'm aware of. I don't know. Yes, hold on. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We got 1 second, Rochelle. Give me 1 second. I got to do the thing. I want y'all to see. The name of this is straight up my name.
I've been in the Rocky Mountains all week. I think I was followed home by the abominable snowman. I found where he bedded down.
Right? What's the chances that somebody made a video about me and it sat around, or not me, but using my legitimate name for my channel, and I didn't even realize. That is astounding to me. I love it.
Wow.
Hello, Rochelle. How are you doing?
Not bad. How are you? You hear me?
Off? Yes.
Awesome.
Although the earthquake is starting to get a little bit too much. So do you know how this works? Have you checked out any of these, or are you just showing up for the first time?
I just showed up for the first time to disturb you.
Oh, I'm already disturbed. There's no disturbance.
Awesome. So am I.
What's up, Joe Cool? Welcome in. How's your wife and my kids? So I have a opinion.
Wow.
Surround yourself with savages and then rise to the occasion. That's how you make a YouTube channel. So
Yes.
how about that? A video 2 years ago, had no idea, and it totally freaking happened. It was all right there. Big as Billy B. Frigged.
Crocky, mate. That's definitely a Caucasian Sasquatch if I've ever tasted one. I shouldn't have hit on his hot mom. I think he's pissed.
What if the games you played at school weren't just innocent fun?
So naturally, I mean, you know, I have no choice. This is YouTube law, right? I actually have to respond, right? I mean, I'm required to by law, correct? YouTube law, right? Okay. So let's make this happen straight, right? I'm gonna add one more one.
Darling. Let's get that. You have a hot mom, eh?
Oh no, she's a dead forever. Tommy doesn't know me from Adam's House Cat. It's hilarious. I mean, he didn't make that because he found my channel. He just made that, and it happened to be my channel name. So, yeah.
All right.
Completely out of the blue. So naturally, I had to respond.
Go for it, baby.
That's definitely a Caucasian Sasquatch.
Stop it. I got to do the things. The things have to be done, or it doesn't
I don't
count.
think he knew what he did. Like, I honestly think the man has no fucking clue. Like, he's not okay.
I don't know. He might be all
I've ever
right.
tasted one.
Sir, where have you tasted me before?
Oh.
I was young and needed the money. 2 a.m. at a PlayStation bathroom. No question. Why would you tell me you would? I don't get that part. Seriously, though, I don't know who this creator is, but he's really nailed one. And besides, it wasn't me.
I'm not wearing pants. I was ready to drop it.
There's something wrong with me.
Oh, I love it. That makes me wet.
Hold on, I got it set up wrong. Let me do this right.
I love that shit.
There we go. Welcome in.
Hello. Let me open up my window real quick, guys.
We'll wait.
No fuck. I'm not naughtiness. Okay, hold on. I feel better. I have shorts in case I drop the phone.
Excellent.
I gotta roll up a blanket, pick it up on a windowsill so y'all can see me.
How you been doing?
Oh, I've been doing good, man.
Let's back up a little bit because we're getting a little behind ourselves, which is exactly where I like to be. Rochelle, you were here first. Would you like to tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Legally? Like for my job?
Like your channel, specifically your channel.
My channel is the Rochelle's Canadian channel for those who are slow and need help. Yeah. And my name is Rochelle. Hi.
Hi.
And I make very weird shorts, creepy kitty shorts that display my very bad and horrible black sense of humor. And I make lives display my fuckery. And I don't use other people's content because, bitch, I have content. I give no fucks, and nothing bothers me. And
what kind of microphone are you using?
What kind of fucks?
Microphone.
Raycon.
Okay. Is there a way? Yeah, it's terrible. If you can turn the sensitivity of it down just a hair, that'd be great. You're clipping it out when you talk. I'm not sure why.
Better?
Yes. All right. Give me 2 seconds. Did you just lick me?
I did.
It's not the first time I've been licked today, just so you know. What's up? I've been checking you out recently. You got some cool things going on. I kind of dig the way you're running your channel over there with the vertical live streams. The way you're dubbing sounds over your shorts and doing the motivational thing. I love that. I love it. That's great. What's up, Kane?
I have a microphone coming because it's coming from the States. It's going to take forever since the tariffs, so I'm sorry. There's my Canadian.
Go ahead, Clint.
But no, I've been trying to create this organization that I've had for a long time in my head called the Knights of the Holy Rose Sanctum. And the whole thing about that is it's going to have 12 different chapters. So each chapter handles its own charity. And I've just been trying to help people out, but mainly I'm trying to spread mental and physical disability awareness. That's what I do on my channel. And I try to at least help people feel better, do like he said, the motivational things every day, and try to teach people old school morals and stuff like that I think we've lost over the years.
I can agree. Morality has definitely taken a hit in the past 15 years. I mean, like
big time.
Right out of the park hit. So I've got some videos over here if we're interested in those things, or we can sit around and lie to each other about things that never happened.
Oh, well, what do you want to do, ma'am?
He has passed the mic to you, Rochelle. What are we doing? Videos or just two lies and a truth?
Well, you can play my creepy kitty shorts if you want.
I've got an hour of content laid out in front of us to go look at. I even have an assault quadriplegic that apparently beat up 3 cops. That's not a joke. I know that sounds like it should be a joke. It's not. I'm dead serious.
Oh, I believe you.
How do you feel about childhood games?
About childhood what? Pardon? Excuse me?
Games, you know, like Hopscotch, Ring Around the Rosie, that kind of stuff. Red Rover, Red Rover.
Well, I know I like learning the actual history behind the rhymes to them and everything like that. Some of that stuff's pretty dark.
Yeah.
It is all dark. I mean, like,
Most childhood
ashes, they all come down. It's like plague. It's all very dark.
Most childhood stories come from a place of cautionary tales. They are specifically designed to teach you when to and when not to do certain things. For instance, almost every single legend, myth, or religious story is all about not making deals with inhuman intellects. Doesn't matter if they're Chinese, they're freaking
death, destruction, and bad people abducting others. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. See, you know, I've walked around this country a lot, and I've seen the best and the worst. And I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of worse out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, and worst part is monsters don't look like monsters. They look like your next door neighbor, Fred.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay,
You know,
videos, dude, fine. You got a link if you want to join, or you could like poke me in the eye and call me a, I don't know, something. Where's the right button? Do y'all know what button? There it is. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty bad shit. Yeah.
Sinister Origins playground games.
Yes, sir. This comes from was it the Resurrectionist?
That's actually a book. I've read that book. It's actually from a book.
They do a whole bunch of these historic sources of different like childhood rhymes and games and nursery rhymes and stuff. They got a huge, vast amount of work out there. You can find all the links.
The nursery rhyme in it, and the original one, and then the modern one.
You can find all the links in the description if interested. Which I would subscribe immediately. There, this next one. 13 minutes. We're going to do the first 7 straight.
What if they had hidden histories, linked to real violence, ancient rituals, or even death? We think of playground games as simple, harmless, part of growing up. Hopscotch, Blind Man's Bluff, Tag, Red Rover, games we all remember, played for generations. But behind the skipping, the chasing, the shouting,
welcome in, TWP.
A question. Where did these games actually come from? Because
that was a painting at Linden's farm when they first showed that. When they first started showing the medieval stuff, that was a painting of Linden's farm.
Right.
I mean, does anyone know like those games, like like handball games, like hello, 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 sir, what you doing there, sir? No, sir. Yes, sir. Go to the North Pole, sir. Where are you going there, sir? Catch a ball there, sir. Yep, sir.
That's mildly terrifying.
A little bit. Yeah.
I mean,
it's actually about where they went up north and they left those people there to die and they buried them in the snow. That's from the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that in a bit.
Lead poisoning. What you doing there, sir? Going north, bear? No. Catch and pull a bear, sir. Yes, sir. No. Clapping game.
With. Some began as training for war. Others were based on ancient superstitions, punishment, or disease control. And a few, strangely, may have once been used to predict the future. One may have been inspired by battlefield tactics. Another was once played with bones. Others carry traces of something much older, something we've long forgotten. In this video, we're uncovering the real and sinister origins of playground games. Their history is older than you think, and in some cases, far darker than you'd ever imagine. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never see the playground the same way again. Welcome back, Darklings. Let's start our journey.
They're so interesting.
One of the most physically aggressive playground games ever invented. In Red Rover, 2 teams stand in parallel lines holding hands to form human chains.
We've all played Red Rover, right?
I love that game.
Okay. I never was a huge fan of it. I never liked the idea of throwing myself physically at a group of people that just seemed kind of dumb to me.
I played with the boys. I love that shit.
Nobody
side
liked
calls
being on the opposite team from me.
Red Rover, send Edgar right over. The chosen child runs full speed toward the opposing line, trying to break through the clasped arms. If they succeed, they drag someone back to their side. If they fail, they're caught. It's
I know
simple,
what that's about.
brutal, and it might be far older and darker than anyone realizes. Some say the game began during the time of Viking invasions. The theory goes that children, watching adults build defenses and brace for raids, began mimicking what they saw, turning danger into play, pretending to taunt the rovers.
How do you reckon? Is it
I think it was about press gangs. You know how you grab someone and drag them on the boat?
yeah, Shanghai? Yeah.
Well, to be fair, when as a Viking descendant and studying them so much, there is, precedent behind what she says of it being the Vikings, because they would form a shield wall. But
Right.
a
The
lot
only
of
way
times,
to shield wall is to either go over it or around, and when you go around, they reposition. So
But
you
the
got to.
Romans did that with their shields too. I mean,
Yeah.
the difference
Well, after
was
the
the
Vikings, it was common.
the difference was the failing squad versus the shield wall. Was with the failing squad, it was just one shield beside another. The shield wall, as each shield came down, they overlapped each other, so it created this hard spot that you can't slam through. So
it might go up. That's Rome too. I
I
mean,
kind
that's
of
an
do
old.
that concept. It makes sense to me. I could see how kids seeing a Viking raid and the effects of a shield wall and occasional soldiers trying to break it. It's a dark, dark game. Can we think of anything else?
That with women, they would go through their defenses and grab a woman and drag her back too. I mean, there's so many different theories that.
I can't think of another off the top of my head.
Centuries by grabbing people off the street and dragging them onto their ships, and then they would be part of their team too, and that's press gang. The ships. I mean, there's so many theories that's gone through time and gone through the evolution. The evolution.
You see what they found. Your sound is really, really bad. Like really bad. Here's the very beginning and very end of each word.
I can fix this.
I wish you luck.
Pirates or raiders by daring them to come over and break through. And it fits. Red Rover is all about smashing through human barriers. It's rough, violent, the kind of game that feels more like a siege than playtime. In fact, it's been banned in many schools due to the number of injuries, broken bones, concussions, clothesline-style collisions. It's easy to believe this was never a game, that maybe it began as a child's version of conflict, a battle line in miniature. But there's an issue. There's no known record of the game before the 19th century, and historians argue the name more likely came from a pirate novel, The Red Rover, published in 1827.
How's that?
The Red Rover.
Never read that book.
I was muted that whole time. Y'all got to tell me when I be babbling. Don't tell nobody.
I couldn't see your face, to be honest, brother. I could barely see mine.
I got you. I'm just messing with you. Ye speak like honest men. Pray God you prove so. I've never read this book, and that is such a rarity to come across an old book that I haven't read. I haven't even heard of.
I haven't read it either myself, and
interestingly, I have read The Spy in the Prairie, and he wrote those, so I didn't miss it by much.
No kidding. Well, man, I actually got to head off. I got to start my own live.
Okay, bud, you do your thing.
All right, thank you for letting me stop by.
Hop into chat over here, and we'll get your channel link dropped. It's easier to find when you're in chat, and one of the mods can just click your thingy and go straight to it. Because God knows how many Clint Gages there are out there.
Yeah, there's only one -J7M though.
Sure, but I didn't know that till you said it out loud. So Clint Gage 17M. Good luck, brother. Have an absolutely amazing stream.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I know. How's that sound?
Wait a second.
For real.
How did you not end up on the screen when that happened?
It
doesn't
sucks,
make
or it just, is it okay?
That was weird. You were in the number 3 slot until he left. And so when he left, it took a second for you to drop into the number 2 slot, so you didn't pop up. I think I figured it out. That works. What's up, CJ? Welcome in, brother.
If my sound sucks, I'll just bail. How's that sound?
It's a little bit better. As long as you don't like raise your voice, you're fine.
No, I have no intention to.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't care if you yell at me. It's just I'm not going to hear it.
Why would I yell?
I'm incite people to violence all the time.
Rover, published in 1827. So was Red Rover inspired by Viking raids, or is it just a rough and tumble game borrowing a thrilling name from fiction? We may never know for certain. But one thing's clear, whatever its origin, Red Rover is not your average childhood pastime. And just maybe, it's a memory of something much older than we realize. What if one of the most familiar playground games actually began as the perfect excuse to get handsy, without consequence? Today, Blind Man's Bluff seems like harmless fun. One player is blindfolded, spun around, and must catch another by touch alone. But this wasn't always a game for children. In fact,
how many people have seen someone get injured while playing Blind Man's Bluff?
Me.
I have.
I always thought this was like a parlor game, like in the 1600s, like by rich people.
Sure.
Blind Man's Bluff.
Yeah, that checks out. But by the time I grew up, it was just something that was played in a field full of rusty metal. You know, I was an '80s kid. What can I say?
Yeah, in my case, it was a gravel field in the playground.
That's just as effective, especially if you're trying to get tetanus. That works.
versions were decidedly adult. In ancient Greece, a similar game was nicknamed Copper Mosquito, and in Tang Dynasty China, it was played by Emperor Xuanzong, along with his concubines. Yes, emperors and lovers blindfolded, reaching out in the dark. It wasn't just a game, it was foreplay. By the Tudor era, it had reached the court of Henry VIII, where nobles played it during courtly festivities. In some versions, you even had to guess who you'd caught based on how they felt. A perfect game for a night of naughty fun. By the Victorian era, Blind Man's Bluff had become a staple of parlour games. Adults and children played it together, but even in that prudish age, it offered the perfect excuse to touch your love interest. But not all games ended well. A 19th century account tells of sailors playing the game on deck and a blindfolded man stumbling overboard, lost to the sea. A tragic end to a game that was never really about innocent fun. What if one of the most innocent playground games was originally designed for soldiers? Hopscotch is simple, a chalked grid on the ground, a tossed mark.
That makes sense. I've always wondered about hopscotch, and I've heard all kinds of crazy rumors about why it is what it is. But reality,
I heard it was like what you had to do, like as a soldier, like your duty.
If you look at the layout of the squares, the earlier versions of it vaguely resemble the ascension ranks in the military. And in order to do the marches properly, just like football players running through tires, you have to do the footwork. And hopscotch would be a decent way to teach somebody decent footwork, especially if you taught it to children before they ever thought about joining the military.
Interesting.
Marker and a careful one-footed journey through numbered squares. But according to one popular theory, it began on ancient Roman military training grounds. Some say soldiers laid out 100-foot-long courses to practice balance and coordination, hopping in full armor to improve footwork. Children, watching from the sidelines, began copying them, and over time their mimicry became a game. It's a compelling image, grids of movement, discipline, and control passed down from empire to schoolyard, but despite the legend, there's no surviving Roman text or archaeological evidence to confirm it. The first recorded references to hopscotch in the English-speaking world appear in the late 17th century under names like Scotch hop or Scotch hoppers.
All right, it says Hopscotch. First make with chalk an oblong square with wide partitions here and there. Then to the first a tile convey, hop in, then kick the tile away. Okay.
Interesting.
A
Oh,
manuscript.
bro, I gotta take off. I got a long distance call. I'll talk. I'll see you guys another time.
All right, we're around.
I'm
I'll see you
sorry
around.
about that.
It's fine.
Thanks for having me up, bro. I'll see you
good
later
one.
and visit
I'll
me
let you
anytime.
know.
Bye, guys.
Game clearly, and by 1677, an almanac mentions boys playing at Scotch hoppers in the streets. So while the Roman training theory may remain unproven, what we do know is this. For centuries, children have been repeating the same precise movements. Unlike most playground games, hopscotch doesn't involve chasing, shouting, or surprise. It's about balance, focus, and staying within the lines. Maybe that's why it feels so old, more than a game.
Welcome in, ATL.
It feels
Good
like
to
a
see you,
ritual
brother.
of discipline passed down through generations, without anyone quite remembering where it came from. What if one of the simplest playground games started with real bones and predicting the future? Today, we call it jacks, tossing a small ball into the air and picking.
All right, let's take a shot at this. How would playing jacks predict the future? Well, let's say it's a little boy. They are likely to either become a blacksmith, a farmer, a tradesman, or somebody who works with their hands, given that it's the Middle Ages. So hand-eye coordination could very, very well be a decent predictor of his success in whatever field he were to approach, especially if he was a soldier.
Picking up pieces before it lands. But centuries ago, it was played with something very different.
What's up, Jake
Animal
Snake?
knuckle bones. In ancient Greece, the game was known as astragaloi, named after the ankle bones of sheep or goats. Children tossed and caught them for fun, but soldiers played it too, to pass the time between battles. And in some cultures, it wasn't just a game. The bones were also used for divination. Their shape meant they would land unpredictably, like dice. Each face could be read like a sign, used to predict fate or uncover hidden truths. Even the Romans believed the game had spiritual links. Girls played it during fertility festivals, and priests cast bones to seek answers from the gods. Later versions replaced bones with stones, then metal or plastic pieces. But the name, knuckle bones, still persists. The very term knuckle down, meaning to get serious, originally referred to divination via playing jacks. Because at its core, this is a game.
I had always kind of thought jacks derived from the caltrops of war, which would be why soldiers would have them. The rubber ball is a whole nother ball game.
Game about fate, about chance, about seeing what the bones will reveal when they hit the ground. But not all dark games were about bones and fate. Some were quieter, rhythmic, chanting, and that's where skipping rope takes a surprisingly sinister turn. What if the cheerful skipping games of your childhood were echoing real-life murder, disease, and scandal? Skipping goes back centuries. European records from the 1500s describe indigenous people jumping vines for fun. By the 1600s, boys in Europe were seen skipping rope. But girls? That was another.
All right. This guy right here, this dude who's currently in the air, is the most terrifying thing in this picture. And there's nothing good in it. There's a whole line of guys back who are all look pissed that it's not their turn. This guy over here looks like he's lost a leg and is angry about it. None of this makes any sense.
Matter. In the 17th century, skipping was discouraged for girls, not because it was dangerous, but because it might reveal their ankles.
Psychopath.
It wasn't until the 18th century that girls began to claim the game as their own. And when they did, they added something new.
Yeah, Jake, this channel also does that kind of stuff with the real meanings of nursery rhymes, like Ring Around the Rosie and whatnot.
Rhymes. But these skipping chants weren't always sweet. For example, Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks refers to a real-life incident in 1892 when Lizzie Borden was accused of brutally murdering her father and stepmother with a hatchet. Another is, I had a little bird. Its name was Enza. I opened the window, and in flew Enza, a pun on the 1918 flu pandemic.
Influenza. That's dark.
Pandemic that killed millions. And most chilling of all, are you a witch, or are you a fairy, or are you the wife of Michael Clary? This refers to the true story of Michael Clary, who in 1895 burned his wife alive, believing she'd been replaced by a changeling. These weren't just playground songs. They were the headlines, the horror stories, and the rumors, retold by children, in time with the rope. Once you've heard the true meaning of the words, it's impossible to unhear them. But what if one of the most familiar childhood games was actually a lesson in obedience and power?
Oh, yeah.
Simon Says is...
not too terribly long ago, there were actually legal protections for people who killed changelings. They were full-on believed to be a full-on thing that existed, and you too could be a victim of them if you weren't careful. Although I don't know how the hell you would freaking prove that. What's up, GT? Welcome in, bro. Appreciate you coming by.
Is deceptively simple. A leader gives commands. Simon Says touch
Light
your
as a
nose.
feather, stiff
You
as a
obey,
board.
but only if the order begins with Simon Says, slip up and you're out. But who is Simon? And why do we listen to him? One theory links the game to Simon de Montfort, a powerful and controversial figure from 13th century England. De Montfort led a rebellion against King Henry III. In 1264, he defeated the king in battle, seized control of the government, and ruled for a time in the monarch's name. He even summoned what many historians consider the first English parliament without the king's permission. For a brief moment in history, Simon gave the orders, and out of sheer terror, everyone obeyed, even those in the highest of power. It's easy to see how such a figure could become a symbol of authority, one whose word had to be followed without question. But some believe the meaning goes even
Yeah,
deeper.
why does that bastard tell me what to do anyway?
Folklorists have noted that Simon Says mirrors the structure of religious ritual. A single voice gives the command, and it must be obeyed without question. Some believe the game echoes older teachings, that only those in positions of divine or sacred authority were to be followed. It might feel like fun, but beneath the surface, Simon Says is about control. And maybe,
Yes,
just
control.
maybe, it was once a lesson in how to follow, and who to follow.
I wonder about Marco Polo.
What if being it wasn't just a game? What if it was a curse? Tag is one of the most universal playground games on Earth. One player chases the rest. A touch transfers the role. Tag, you're it. But where did it come from? In the 1600s, it was called tick. Then in 18th century England, it was known as tig, both dialect words meaning a light touch. The concept, one chases, others flee, is found in nearly every culture and likely dates back to the earliest forms of play. But what makes tag interesting is its connection to ancient beliefs. In older British playgrounds, kids could shout words like barley or pax whilst touching a wall or tree to declare temporary safety, a home base where they couldn't be tagged. These weren't just random rules. They reflect a long human tradition of creating protection zones by touch or word. In medieval times, crying out pax, Latin for peace, and touching church doors could grant sanctuary. It was often done in the middle of a battle or siege, a way of pausing conflict, even in the midst of violence. Tag preserves that same instinct. Even earlier, trees were believed to hold protective spirits. Touching one might shield you from harm, which is why, even to this day, we touch wood to bring good luck. And being it, that hasn't always been harmless. Some folklorists believe tag may have developed during the plague years, a way for children to mimic infection and avoid the one who had it. The it player, therefore, is someone whose touch is to be avoided at all costs. And in the
Save a tree, hug a Sasquatch.
COVID era, it happened again. When children returned to school, many instinctively played virus tag. Being it meant you were infected with COVID, and the other players ran away to avoid catching it. So maybe tag isn't just about chasing, maybe it's a game about fear, and the desperate instinct to stay untouched. But if you thought playground games were strange, wait until you hear where our favorite...
Why do all these old Peach pictures look so doggone creepy? I mean, I'm sure she's having tons of fun. It doesn't look like it, though. Jeez.
board games came from. Click here to watch the dark origins of classic board games.
We're not going to do that.
You'll never look at Monopoly, Trivial Pursuit, or Snakes and Ladders the same way again. See you in a future video.
Okay.
Ever notice how in Pulp Fiction, Vincent keeps getting in
stop
deep...
it. We're going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to drop this down. We're going to have us a little talk. Who here likes Pulp Fiction? One of my more rewatched movies that I've seen a bajillion trillion times. There is a scene in this movie that has always bothered the living fool out of me, and I could never put my finger on exactly why it bothered me. In the movie, and in the movie, this is broken up a little bit to make it a little less obvious. But if you remember, Bruce Willis talks to his girl after the fight. She left his watch. He was very specific. You need to bring the watch, right? So she left the watch. He's got to go get the watch. He leaves to go get the watch and runs across Marcellus Wallace crossing the street with 2 cups of coffee and a couple of donuts. He runs him down in the street and drives away. This happens, I believe, right after he leaves the apartment, after getting his watch, which means that when Vinny Vega was in the apartment, in the bathroom, he was there with Marcellus Wallace. Marcellus Wallace was less than a block away getting coffee while Vinny Vega was back at the house waiting on Bruce Willis. And that scene boggled my mind so much, because why on earth would Marcellus Wallace, the leader of a full-on international gang syndicate, be crossing the street in front of this dude's house unless he was with Vinny Vega? And yet there is no implication whatsoever in the movie that they were there together, except a single MAC-10 gun that was left at the scene and is the one that Bruce Willis uses to kill John Travolta in the bathroom. Okay, now that we're up to speed, we're going to take off with home cheese over here, home slice. We're going to go to the beginning.
Ever notice how in Pulp Fiction, Vincent keeps getting in deep trouble every time he hits the restroom? Talk about terrible timing. His breaks aren't just reoccurring gags, they're veritable countdowns to disaster. While most of us might stress over leaving our phone behind, he should be worrying about leaving his life on the line. At first glance, his urgent visits might seem nothing special, but trust me, they build into something major. Early in the flick, he steps away at Mia and Marcellus's place. Before you know it, Mia's rifling through his jacket and discovering his stash. A find that goes south real quick when she mistakes it for coke and overdoses. The pattern continues. During the diner scene, while he's handling his business, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny decide it's the perfect moment to rob the joint. And then the scene at Butch's apartment. This is where things get really interesting, so listen up. Most casual viewers don't catch this, but he wasn't operating alone at Butch's place. All
right. So long before the whole YouTube career thing started happening, I had arguments with people about this scene. I've always stated incontrovertibly, Marcellus Wallace was with Vinny Vega at homie's apartment. Otherwise, why would he have a MAC-10 there? Vinny Vega uses a Colt 45 or like he has like a silver gun. It's maybe a 9mm. I can't remember. But anyway, it's a big old honking hand cannon, right? So, and it's like an oppositional type gun from what the one Samuel L. Jackson uses, where his is like gold plated. Vince's is Vinny Vega's is silver plated. pearl handled, all that stuff. And I think Samuel L. Jackson's has ebony handles on it, but they're like a match set, but they're oppositional. So what was the MAC-10 for? Clearly, it was for Marcellus Wallace.
He was there in tandem with Marcellus Wallace. Yeah, that's right. The boss himself was part of this stakeout. The movie doesn't show them together in the apartment, which is why it blows people's minds when they finally connect the dots. So here's the thing about Marcellus being at Butch's apartment. It's actually pretty obvious when you think about it, but a lot of people miss it. Remember that scene when Butch is heading back to his place and literally bumps into Marcellus on the street? Pay attention to what Marcellus is carrying.
Two cups of coffee and about 6, maybe a dozen donuts. Why would he need 2 cups of coffee unless he was with someone else, right? And if he's with someone else a half a block away from homie's house, it just seems logical to me that, yeah.
2 cups of coffee. Not 1, but 2. That's the dead giveaway right there. Marcellus wasn't just randomly in the neighborhood with an extra coffee. He was bringing that second cup back for Vincent, who was waiting at Butch's apartment. It makes perfect sense. Tarantino was way too deliberate with his details for this to be a coincidence. This little detail completely changes how we should understand that whole situation. Vincent wasn't foolishly hanging out alone in Butch's apartment. He was part of a coordinated stakeout with his boss, Marcellus.
Welcome in, Kerry. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you coming through. And I felt like I forgot to do something that I told you I was going to do, and I can't remember what it was. But if you want to remind me, drop it in an email or something. I just got this nagging feeling. Just not sure what it is. Been very, very busy. Trying to get my head right.
Marcellus just stepped out for a coffee run while Vincent stayed behind to keep watch. Classic partner situation, right? One goes for refreshments while the other holds down the fort. When you realize this, it makes what happens next even more tragic. Vincent wasn't being careless in some random break-in. He was actually on a job with the big boss himself, who just happened to step out at exactly the wrong moment. Now you might wonder why Marcellus Wallace would fetch coffee for his hitman. Their relationship explains it. Vincent isn't just an employee, he's practically family. He gets a warm bear hug from the boss himself. After what happened with...
All right, that scene, that's another really good scene.
He's practically family.
It's this scene here where Vinny comes back with the goods and we're happy and everybody's happy. Before any of that is discussed, Vinny showing up triggers physical affection in what is probably the most heinous crook in this movie. So that's interesting, I think. I always thought it was extremely telling.
He gets a warm bear hug from the boss
with an apple in his hand, no less.
Himself. After what happened with the previous babysitter, Marcellus still trusted Vincent to take care of Mia. These actions show a bond beyond the typical crime boss enforcer dynamic, making what happens next significant. While Marcellus is gone, Vincent hits the bathroom. Butch sneaks back for his father's watch. Entering his apartment cautiously, Butch discovers a MAC-11 submachine gun on the counter. This wasn't Butch's weapon, nor Vincent's signature 1911 pistol. It belonged to Marcellus. The MAC-11...
Yeah, he shot man killers. Them 45s ain't no joke. That's serious for reals.
11, a spray and pray weapon for close quarter combat, shows Wallace expected a fight. Meanwhile, Vincent overlooked basic security. As Butch examines the weapon, he hears the toilet flush. The sound is crucial. Vincent makes no effort to be quiet because he's not expecting trouble. He assumes the person he hears in the apartment is just Marcellus, returning with coffee. When Vincent steps out of the bathroom and sees Butch holding the gun, he doesn't react. For once, he's not the hunter, he's the prey. His arrogance melts into silent resignation. This moment of paralysis speaks volumes about Vincent's character.
All right, this moment needs to be gone over because Butch did not decide to shoot Vinny Vega, although there was no other choice to be made there. Right? If he tries to let Vinny Vega go, Vinny Vega shoots him in the back. If he tries to leave the apartment without taking down Vinny Vega, he runs straight or takes the time to fight Vinny Vega or knock him out. He runs into Marcellus Wallace, being run over by a freaking Tricell or whatever it is. So he has no choice in that situation but to shoot Vinny Vega, and yet he doesn't make that choice. The toaster strudel does. It scares the living bejesus out of him. He pulls the trigger, and one little silencers be silent, and that's the end. All she wrote.
Character. Despite being a professional hitman, he likes situational awareness. He made himself vulnerable in enemy territory by thinking he was in a secure situation. The bathroom, that private space where we all let our guard down, becomes his ultimate downfall. The timing Tarantino uses here is masterful. Just as Vincent emerges from the bathroom, those Pop-Tarts jump out of the toaster. It's like a timer counting down the final seconds of Vincent's life. Ding! Time's up. Pure Tarantino genius right there. But his breaks aren't just coincidental bad timing. They're rooted in a more insidious habit. One of the lesser-known side effects of
maybe we shouldn't pause on the cooking of heroin on a spoon.
Heroin use is severe constipation.
That is true. It does plug you up something righteously. And long periods of time in the bathroom are a common byproduct.
Which explains why this guy spends so much time on the throne. His drug habit doesn't just bind his bowels, it blinds him to danger. At Mia's place, he leaves his heroin in plain sight, oblivious to the risk. During every crucial moment, from diner robberies to stakeouts, he lets his focus slip, mistaking luck for skill. The very substance that gives him pleasure is setting him up for disaster, isolating him in vulnerable moments where control...
Absolute fact. Homie's just lucky. I mean, you look at the things Vinny Vega does in the movie. He shoots a kid in the back seat because he's having a little hissy fit about something homie said. He said some words. Vinny Vega's over here banging on the back of the seat with his gun, and it goes off because he has no self-awareness.
Control slips away. It's deeply ironic that the book Vincent's reading in the bathroom throughout the film is Modesty Blaze, a spy novel about this brilliant, super strategic heroine who's always 3 steps ahead of her enemies. The name itself mocks Vincent's modesty, reflects the heroine's unassuming brilliance, while Vincent is immodest, arrogant, and oblivious. Blaze ties her to Arthurian legend of wisdom and mentorship, qualities Vincent sorely lacks. He's reading about a hero who's everything he's not. Careful, strategic, always aware of her surroundings. She would never let herself get... It's not.
They are a bit different.
Careful, strategic, always aware of her surroundings. She would never let herself get caught in a vulnerable position the way Vincent repeatedly does. Meanwhile, Vincent can't even take a bathroom break without something going catastrophically wrong. He sees himself as this cool protagonist fresh from Amsterdam, but in reality, he's just another character in Tarantino's universe destined to be discarded when his narrative purpose...
How many people love the character of the wolf? Oh my Lord. I kind of wish they had brought, like in other movies, the wolf had showed up and they had brought him in as a different person, right? Like have the wolf show up as and it be Brad Pitt or freaking, who was it that did Jason Bourne? Matt Damon. Like, just different people to be different types of snotty and superior. You know? I think that would have been great.
Is served. His handling of the Butch situation perfectly demonstrates how much he underestimates the boxer. Early in the film, he dismisses Butch as just a palooka who's past his prime, not a real threat worth taking seriously. This blinds him completely to the danger Butch
Right. So when he stepped out of that bathroom and saw Butch standing there with that gun, he knew his ticket was punched. Right. And also, here's another thing. If it had come to a fight, Butch would have beat that man to death in probably 2 minutes flat. Vinny Vega had no chance of getting out of that apartment once he didn't have his gun out and ready. It was a sealed deal. There was no more discussion about it.
Represents. He doesn't recognize the boxer's killer instinct or survival skills. Butch isn't some glass-jawed tomato can taking a dive for cash. He's a heavy...
That's a good idea, Smoking Space, man. Just somebody doing a bunch of different jobs as a fixer as short films would be cool. It wouldn't even necessarily have to be directly attached to the wolf, just that type of character, you know. Because these people aren't always called in to clean up a murder. Sometimes it's, you know, a heist gone bad, or, you know, a chop shop getting spotted or whatever, and they've got to come deal with it, whatever it might be, whether it's moving a whole bunch of material or you know, homie's a genius. You see how cool he rolls in on Vinny? Vinny's the coolest man you'll ever meet, and this dude out cools him on the freaking starting block.
Heavyweight survivor with the reflexes and determination to outmaneuver both Vincent and Marcellus with counterpunches they never see coming. During the whole apartment standoff, Vincent gets caught with his guard down. The bathroom scene is like watching a fighter who drops his hands at exactly the wrong moment and gets knocked out cold. Vincent's got all the appearance of a professional, but none of the ring awareness to back it up. The bathrooms are physical manifestations of Vincent's emotional detachment. They're where he retreats to escape responsibility, leaving others to clean up his messes.
Really?
Wow. But it's a lucky thing I had my pieces.
Your pieces?
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
Wow.
Bang! No, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Try to shoot them in the back. But I don't run so good either. Anyway, you guys all think I'm a hero, and I'll accept that responsibility. I don't think one would have done it. I'm going to go out and buy some more.
Okay.
And I think you should too. Don't be a victim. It's time to fight back.
So yes, don't be a victim.
When he dies, it's not just because he's unarmed, it's because he's alone. Butch, meanwhile, thrives through loyalty. He risked everything for his father's watch, a symbol of lineage and commitment. Vincent, with no heirlooms or true allies, dies clutching nothing but delusions of cool. But here's the kicker. Tarantino uses bathrooms as a metaphor for Vincent's entire existence. They're where he retreats to escape reality, whether it's heroin's grip or the pressure of being Marcellus's golden boy. Yet every time he steps out, the world reminds him he's not in control. The diner bathroom hides a robbery, Mia's bathroom hides an overdose, Butch's bathroom hides his execution. It's a cycle of denial and consequence, where Vincent's illusions of control get flushed away. Looking at all the evidence, Vincent's death almost feels inevitable from the start of the film. Every bad decision, his drug habit, his carelessness with weapons, those bathroom breaks when he lets his guard down, they all lead toward that final flush. There's something darkly poetic.
The final flush. I see what you did there. I'm proud of you. I'm not even mad. I'm more impressed than anything else.
About a hitman who survives wild gunfights only to die because nature called at the wrong time. His death isn't some glorious moment. It's almost embarrassing. Caught with his defense.
It is embarrassing because I guarantee you right after those bullets went through his midriff, he finally took that poop he's been trying to take for 6 months.
Down in the most human of moments. Vincent isn't your typical villain with an evil master plan.
Zed's
He's just
dead,
a flawed
baby.
dude who can't
Zed's
get out of his
dead.
own way. His fatal flaw isn't that he's evil, it's that he's human. He gets constipated from heroin. He lets his guard down and he reads pulp novels on the toilet, thinking he's untouchable while his fate is being decided elsewhere. Vincent's journey through Pulp Fiction makes us wonder if we're really calling the shots in our lives or just characters in a bigger story we can't control. His story shows that no matter how cool we think we are, we're all vulnerable to our habits and mistakes. In Tarantino's world, even something as mundane as a
All right, everybody in the chat right now. We have a box, a briefcase that is so valuable that people murder for it. Even random people who happen to notice what's in the case immediately start trying to steal it. What's in the case? It's not heroin. Vinny would recognize that immediately, and I don't think that would be deemed as valuable as whatever is in the case. What's in the case? Foxes don't flush. Flush Force 5. Right, yeah, it's never really says what's in the case, but whatever it is significantly more valuable than dope. Because even after Vinny and Samuel L. Jackson find out what's in the case, it just solidifies their decision to take it to Marcellus Wallace because they don't want no part of it. But anyone else who glimpses what's in the case, they immediately try to take it. So that's a huge mystery. What specifically would be valuable enough and recognizable enough that at a glance people would be like, yeah, I'm keeping it. What's up, Grumpelstiltskin? Welcome in, bro. Appreciate you coming through. We got Zephyr of Voxel in the chat. It's good to see you. Uncle Fatty, always a pleasure. Carpenter's Journey, Flush Force 5. Zed's dead, baby. That's right. Hop on your little scooter pooter and get the fuck out of here. Homegirl had a rough day. She didn't even know it. It's about cute as she could be, though.
Vulnerable to our habits and mistakes.
Right. The case is too light for gold. I'm thinking diamonds, maybe. Could be any number of gems would be valuable enough, small enough to just completely drive someone insane at a glance. Marcellus' soul. See, I like the way you think, man. That's why we're buddies. But yeah, something like, I mean, if you've got a bundle of diamonds, you can fit several $100,000 in the palm of your hand if they're good enough. Emeralds would cast a green glow. The golden glow that comes out of that case, I'm thinking like, what is it, the Ark of the Covenant? I mean, what have we got here? Is it like C3PO's missing bronze leg? I don't know. Star sapphires. That's just because you like them.
Mistakes. In Tarantino's world, even something as mundane as a bathroom break can be the thread that unravels your entire existence. A reminder that in life, nobody is safe when nature calls.
All right, all of the links.
A quadriplegic man speaking out after he's accused of.
This is the one that I was really wanting to show you. Hey, Grumpelstiltskin, you want to get really, really, really mad? Hit the link, come up here. We'll talk about this one. This is going to piss everybody off. I just, look. I found this video and it made me mad. And the more I thought about it, the more angry I got. This was uploaded a few days ago by Nate the lawyer, who does really cool like deep dive videos into specific cases, backgrounds of different stuff, whatnot, you know, that type of stuff. What we got over here? No. You got to change your name, bro. Although I know it's you. Or we'll just wait patiently till the show is done and move on from there. So, homie is a quadriplegic, and supposedly he assaulted police officers.
A quadriplegic man speaking out after he's accused of ramming his wheelchair into officers.
For the first time, we are seeing body camera video when Miami-Dade police say they were assaulted by a quadriplegic.
Homie's a little more than quadriplegic. Quadriplegic might not be the accurate you. I'm afraid of you. I like my channel. I don't want it rearranged. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to do it, Meow. We can do it later. So this guy's he has use of his arms and legs. They just are non-functional, right? So he's got some muscular control and whatnot. And this gentleman is accused of assaulting 3 police officers, I guess with a deadly wheelchair. I don't know how that works, but okay.
Quadriplegic man. A case so unusual, even the judge at first appearance seems surprised.
I have truly never seen a case like this.
So police arrest a quadriplegic man claiming that he assaulted them, or battery in Florida. Let's discuss.
Hold on. Can I just be an asshole for a minute? It's just for a minute. Nobody's going to blame me, right? Right. Homie got gang tattoos.
Assaulted them, or battery in Florida. Let's discuss.
Florida,
this
of course.
Is Brian Armastis. He goes by the stage name El Valiente. He's also a social media star. On YouTube, he has 18,000 subscribers under the same name.
Armastis' stage name is Valiente. He's a recording artist with more than 18,000 subscribers on YouTube. When we met, rescue came to the home to take him to the hospital.
Yeah.
He says he was hurt when he was arrested and taken out of his chair to be put in a squad car.
Now, Valiente was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, but he says he's the actual victim of police brutality. Here is how he explains it.
They claim that I
I hit them with my wheelchair.
A mask that tells us a different story. Did you?
I absolutely did not.
It was
Okay, so hypothetically speaking, let's just say my man went absolutely ham. He decided to go postal on the cops and do a sideways by cop. And he charged out there with his little wheelchair and ran into one of them shoot. Would that be assault? I'm not sure it would be. Lord help us, Tampa. Those chairs are like 300 pounds. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they're not terribly quick, right? So I kind of feel like you could slowly walk backwards away from it while he approached and lead him wherever you want him to go, I suppose. Maybe if you took a Twinkie and put it on a string, could have got him to go somewhere. I don't know, man. I'm just thinking.
It was Wednesday when police responded to a dispute between Amasa and his mother at their Southwest Miami-Dade home. According to the report, when she was arrested, he got agitated.
The officer,
Did I hear that right?
When police responded to a dispute between Amasa and his mother at their Southwest Miami-Dade home. According to the report, when she was
updating time span involving defendant who's quadriplegic in a wheelchair on the scene of a domestic dispute call documented by a fan mobility wheelchair up to both mentioned officers and defendant's mother documented.
Was arrested, he got agitated.
the officer, she bumped into my wheelchair because I was standing in the driveway and the driveway is thin.
The report stated that you spit at an officer.
Right. So I suffer from acid reflux, so I normally spit. And I spat like the totally different direction. They manhandled me. They tried to cuff me with my hands on my back, which I can't do.
So as you see, Valiente denies all the allegations, says he didn't ram his wheelchair into officers. And on top of that, he actually didn't spit on officers. He spit a different direction, and they're essentially lying on him. So
hold on, sir. I'm going to be honest.
He actually didn't.
If this is the body camera angle, that looks pretty well at me. I mean, that's on my chest on the left side of my lapel, which would be my guess given the angle. But if it was on the right lapel, then he would be spitting between two people if there were two people standing there. So, although that does seem like he's getting a good old globber going up. I don't look like your casual spitting on the sidewalk situation. What's up, Still, man? Welcome in, brother. I appreciate you coming through. I look like a loogie goober.
Spit on officers. He spit a different direction, and they're essentially lying on him. So to show what happened, police released the body cam footage. Hey guys, this is a quick ad, but stick with me because this one is truly wild.
Connecting him to career, although eventually in scandal. National news headlines wrongfully connecting him to crimes of the college admissions scandal. He says the case ruined his life and his career. Although eventually exonerated, it ended up costing him his life savings in legal fees.
Now, what would you do if the U.S. government? This is exactly. He was totally into their crimes. Life over a fort. They said, "quote John, I've been accusing you of your neck too." Now, grab VAR class on how one man find this book on.
What's going on, man? How can I help you? Okay. So these are.
So this is the gentleman who assaults 3 police officers, and we're fixing to watch it live and in action. Like, well, not live, but you get what I mean. What's up, Bernie? Welcome in, bro.
Her and her mom are my aides. They come to help provide services for me. Okay. I'm sitting in the office today working here, and I work from home. Okay. And my mother and her mother started having a verbal dispute. I hear all this commotion. I hear all the screaming. I'm in the middle of work, so I took a break. I come outside, see what's going on. And I just told her to be quiet, tell me what's going on. Basically, the situation is that they have keys to come to the house to provide services to me. And I provided to them. She, when I say she is my mother, was upset because they were coming in and out to provide services to me.
All right, so what have we done wrong, ladies and gentlemen? He's done one thing wrong already. Before anything else has happened, he's already made one error. I don't see a lawyer present. So why are we talking to the cops?
The 8th. She, my mom, is at 7:30 and that's going to.
Do you know if she gave them any orders or something? Hey, listen, don't come during this time, or just give it, like just knock or something?
She cannot, number one, because it's my services. She has no authority to make decisions about my medical services. Number one.
So you're she's not the one that's, because you know how sometimes when individuals, like caregivers and stuff like that, she's not listed
because
like with
because of the last altercation that happened last year, she was removed.
Did the courts deem
What's up,
you
Making
as
of the Man TV?
capable
Welcome in, brother. Let's see. Do we have no? There's no mods in chat because my mods are lazy. See, I can get that done. I want to do this. Gadoosh. How do they make it so difficult? Oh, cool. Your @ is the same as your name. Almost no one does that. Everyone's always doing it wrong. No. Press all the wrong buttons. There it is. Bam. Always remember another way to do it right after I do it that way. Do the thing. There you go. Well, bam. Tell him Sasquatch sent you. He knows me. He'll giggle. It'll be funny to him. Yeah.
She's never
making
had
decisions and stuff. No, it's not custody. It's like,
custody.
you know how the court sometimes will do that just to make sure that the best interest of the individual with disabilities or injuries or stuff.
It has never come to that.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. That's one of the things that I just want to make sure.
It has never come to that point. And plus, I'm an adult. I can make my own.
Yeah, but
no, I understand.
Man.
I just tell everybody shut up. What's going on? She sent to me. Her and her mom work different shifts. So she works Monday through Friday.
That's your grandmother?
No, they're not related to me at all.
Her and her mom, this lady?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and then your mom. Okay, now I understand.
Her and her mom work different shifts. She works at Monday through Friday, and the baby works the weekends.
Okay.
When one has to do something,
they cover for each other.
Exactly. It's a teamwork. She wasn't in agreement with that was happening. So I told her, Mom, you have nothing to do with this. You're not involved.
Do they live with you 24 hours?
They work at schedule Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
No, at night, who cares for you?
My mother.
Maybe you want to consider having them care for you 24 hours?
It's been a battle I've had with insurance. It's not them, it's the insurance to pay for the 24 hours. But that's the dilemma I'm in because I'm mentally capable of making my own decisions. They don't approve 24 hours. So that's like the predicament that I'm in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think also because you have your mother lives with you, so you're.
This is partly a problem because of his streaming. He does a pretty good bit of freaking business through his social media stuff. I ran across him about a year ago. Seemed like I don't remember. Just can't remember it at all. But so he does decent living, which means he doesn't really qualify for any of the disability type stuff in most circumstances. But then again, 24-hour care is absurdly expensive, especially if you have to have certain types of specialist or hospice care. Whoa, any type of drugs or anything involved, and suddenly it gets really, really expensive.
You're showing the capability. No, but she's living with you, right?
So
that's the thing. That's probably one of the things where they're like, look, you have the ability to have somebody come in that's not them to take care of you.
When everything happened back in September, when you guys took over the first time, I had moved out and I requested 24 hours and we still denied it. So it's not because of that. Regardless. So whatever, she and I started arguing. She tried to slide me. I moved back and she didn't hit me at all. She just like kind of grazed me with the nail.
Yeah, that's still touching though.
But whatever, I don't want to push charges. I don't want.
The thing is that unfortunately, once certain things are said,
so I came out.
We don't have any discretion on domestics. You understand? So it is what it is. So.
Now, as you just heard what the officer said, they don't really have any discretion on whether they can arrest the mom or not, especially if he's saying the mom assaulted him. She hit him, because this is a domestic violence incident. So in these type of cases, someone has to go. And in this case, since he's telling the police that it's the mom who assaulted him, the mom has got to be arrested.
Lo vamos a hacer ahorita, volteate en el carro y ella te puede explicar cuál es mi
identificación? No, deja quitarme todo.
No,
yo solo quito y lo ponemos mis zapatos por lo menos. Entra conmigo si yo no voy a ir para ningún lado, ¿ven? No, está bien.
No,
Aquí.
así, ¿no? ¿Okay?
Me da frío en los pies, mija. Ellos te dan medias allá. Las llaves.
Yeah, no. Welcome in, ma'am. Monkey. Good to see you, bro.
Pero yo no soy violenta, porque tienes que actuar así. ¿Tiene problemas de hombros o no? Sí, y de espalda, mira cómo.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I have to think on that one a little bit.
You have 2 cups? ¿Que te hicieron un procedimiento? No, que yo sufro de
Taser.
de tanto cargarlo a él cuando estaba pequeño. You have 2 cups or no?
Yeah, when I get over there,
Él te va a poner otros. No, pon las manos, si no pones las manos así. Quería quitarme las prendas. No, se te las vamos a quitar. Just wait over there, Brian. Brian.
It's like you guys want to do this. Bro,
Hey, stop hitting me with the chair,
man,
Brian.
Stop doing
That's a battery on a wheel.
You just said
that's
you
a battery on a wheel, bro.
Bro, you guys just said you were. Stop doing
that's a battery on a wheel.
You just said do this.
Hey, stop hitting me with the chair, Brian.
Stop doing
that's a battery on a wheel.
You just said
that's a battery.
Did that man just assault an officer? I think, oh my God. I don't see how he thought he was going to stop anything from happening. I don't know, man. All right.
Battery on a wheel, bro.
Bro, you guys just said you weren't going to do that, bro. What the
We said we're going to go talk to her.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Calm down.
Or what you going to do about it? All right?
Stop resisting. Taser.
I just told you not to do that. Then I will leave the house.
You can't do that, man. Once there's a battery, we have no discretion.
Bro, I just told you she didn't hit me. Her nail grazed me. That's all. That's all she did. All right, so take me.
Don't hit me, bro.
So just take me then.
Don't hit me.
If she's going, I'm going.
Brian, don't hit me.
If she's going, I'm going.
telling you right now.
If she's going, I'm going.
Calm down.
Bro.
No,
If she goes, I go. If she goes, I go. If she's, then I'm going.
Hey.
Take
Stop.
He's so gangster. I wonder if his wheelchair got spinners. He never stopped rolling. What's up, Devil Dog? Welcome in, brother. Eat you a crayon for me, bro. I like the green ones.
Shut up. You shut the f up. I'm going. Take me.
Right.
Listen, unfortunately, the way the laws are written,
You're a bitch, bro. We just have a conversation. And you tell me one thing, you go another stunt.
Either she was gonna be Baker acted or she was gonna.
All right, so Baker actor. So Baker actor.
You cannot Baker act on a domestic.
That's okay, Devil Dog. We both know that the sweetest paint chips are under the windowsill.
What the f are you talking about? She was Baker acted last time.
But that was some other issue.
All right, so take me. So I'm taking me. I'm going.
So as police tried to explain multiple times, it's a domestic battery case. You said she's assaulted you. We have no discretion. We have to take her because of the nature of the call. But Brian says, hey, he wants to go to jail too. So things escalate pretty rapidly.
So take me.
I think he be rolling because he be hating. They don't start hating until after you rolled over a toe.
Hey, chill.
I just hit you again. What the f you do about it?
He wants to go to jail too. So things escalate pretty rapidly.
So take me.
Hey, chill.
I just hit you again. What the f you do about it?
For the first time, we are seeing body camera video when Miami-Dade police.
All right, so this is very different from the interview at the beginning of the video, is it not? Interesting. They have to arrest her in Florida. Yeah, I got you.
They were assaulted by a quadriplegic man. When we interviewed Amasta back then, he told us this.
They claimed that I hit them with my wheelchair.
Did you?
I absolutely did not.
The reports.
Hey, chill. I just hit you again. What the?
And he told us this.
They claimed that I hit them with my wheelchair.
Did you?
I absolutely did not.
The reports.
I've got this thing I've been working on. I want y'all's opinion on it. We get to a position like this, and we do a transition thing. When you come back, we're in this layout. All rise. Criminal Court Part 2 is now in session. The Honorable Sasquatch presiding. We are now here to pass judgment on the quadriplegic assault man who assaulted 3 police officers on camera. Okay, I'll use my axe. I'll use my axe. This is my gavel. I'm using this for the gavel. This is probably going to ruin this desk, but I think it's totally worth it for the bit. All right. So I am hereby, through the witnessing of mine own eyes, finding this gentleman guilty of assaulting at least 2 cops that I've witnessed through the magic of video. So let it be written. So let it be done. Now, I originally put this together to put a Mel Pandora on trial, but she crashed out before I got to use it. So y'all need to go find me some creators that need to be judged harshly. I'll be worse than Royale Bean. I might even go get me like a little gallows to swing on them. It'll be great.
Stated that you spit at an officer.
Right. So I suffer from acid reflux, so I normally spit. And I spat like the totally different direction.
But this is the video.
You want to listen or not?
Charge 2 of spitting on an officer, guilty. All right. This is an easy one.
Yeah, because officers later seen inspecting their legs. Amasta charged with 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer.
So it seems like our quadriplegic man spit on the officers, rammed his wheelchair into them twice, and they arrested him for battery against the law enforcement officer. So is this arrest legit? Would you have arrested this quadriplegic man if you were the law enforcement officers? He said he wasn't going to stop until you arrested him. He rammed his wheelchair. He did spit. That
intent. It all comes down to intent. Homeboy intended to do enough to be arrested. So yes, I would charge him. If I was the judge, I'd find him guilty. I'm just that guy. It'll smash his rap career. What's up, Kevin Cox? Welcome in. Kevin Cox with the sports update. I like that guy. He's cool.
is a battery technically by the law. Now, I don't know. It's part of me says, well, he called for police to help him and didn't want to let his mom get arrested, but unfortunately, that's just the law down there. But then on the other hand, he did batter the officers, and they should not have to take that abuse. But let me know how you feel in the comment section. Do you feel that police overreached by arresting this quadriplegic man? Or do you?
I don't think so. I think they were well within their rights and acted properly given the circumstances. I mean, their hands are kind of tied on the fact that they have to arrest an individual who's been accused of battery on a indigent. So that's where we're stuck with that one. So, oh, cool. You're good? And you're not going to completely screw up everything, are you? All right. You good?
I'll be good. I promise.
All
I
right.
can be when I need to. The background to why most states now have a shall arrest in DV cases.
Yeah.
Cops roll up. It's the third time tonight that they've been called to this address. They can see something's been going on, but she keeps saying, no, don't arrest. And they can't do anything. So they just turn around and they walk out, fourth, fifth time tonight. Between cops getting pissed with that and cases where like 5 minutes after they gone, he's beaten her so black and blue that she's not recognizable as a human being anymore.
Sure.
California actually was first to do this. Passed a shall arrest, and they set a really high or low, depending on your view, bar. Any kind of injury, complaint of pain, if she's holding her arm and it looks like her arm is hurting, that's an injury. She's got red marks, that's an injury. She says, "Oh, he just slapped me once," that's an injury.
That's an injury.
Anything that looked like an injury to them, smelled like an injury, sounded like an injury, or they just kind of had a bad gut hunch that she's hiding a bruise on her back.
Sure.
She's going to jail.
And I'm not necessarily against that, although I'm kind of more towards the hook them both up and take them both in. I mean, if you can't handle your stuff in private, your private things in private, then they shall become public because you insist.
And in about half the cases, that's what ends up happening is, the cops are hooking her up, and then he says, "Oh, well, she slapped me too. Look at my face." Because I had a case like that. My next door neighbor assaulted me, hit me with a coffee cup. It was a plastic cup. I thought, oh, they're not going to see anything. And the cop rolls up first, says, "Oh yeah, I can see the coffee all over your face." Oh, okay, great, cool.
So, how much do you hate life?
Do you really want to ask me that question? Put me backstage.
I'm going to show you something that's going to make you hate life more. And I mean, just in a general sort of sense, where everything is turning more evil by the day, and soulless automatons are taking over the world. So I just want you to. I'm just saying, gird your loins and prepare, because this is always sick. I just watched the first few minutes.
I'm going to mute my mic because we both know.
Okay, so this comes down to the human population question, and the I guess the science of demographic crash and whatnot. And this chick with the chiclet teeth, she has freaked me out so many times with her channel on the things that they're working on that it just behooves me to observe this one. I have no choice. I must do it. Beware the chiclet teeth.
Some researchers are concerned that if people do not start having more babies, humankind will go extinct. And it's actually pretty reasonable. I'll tell you why. First off, fertility rates are in fact going down. For the average couple, there's going to be about 2.2 kids, which is slightly higher than replacement, but there is a problem. We do have an ever declining fertility rate. That has been made worse because male cells have been declining in quality quite rapidly since the 50s.
Do I have to say it? I think I have to say it. Do I have to say it?
Not really. We're pussies.
Are you sure they're not turning all the frogs gay?
When a population starts having a lot of older people, that's going to be at the top of the pyramid, and less younger people, it's going to collapse. That is what we're seeing worldwide. We're seeing less people having children. We're seeing people's lives extend longer, so we really can't have continuous growth. Humans are somewhat unique in the sense that we don't really have predator-prey cycles. No, we're no longer running from tigers or bears, depending on if you're me. No one knows where my username came from. I've encountered a lot of bears.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
Bears. Like a disproportionate number of bears. This is beside the point. Our lifespans are getting longer, and that shouldn't be a bad thing. Unfortunately, with the way that we evolved and the way that we live, we haven't really suited ourselves for a continuously aging population. Many countries have tried implementing things like free childcare, even giving people money to take care of their children, which is awesome, but it doesn't increase the birth rate that much. We can bring that topic back to mouse utopia, but when people start feeling disenfranchised, like there's nowhere for them to go, there's no reason for them to have children. There's no upward momentum, and that continues the problem with the society that requires continuous growth, and that's what human beings do.
Is that what human beings do, though? I mean, the mouse utopia experiment kind of proves that when we reach a certain level of, or mammals at least, when they reach a certain level of density, they actually choose not to reproduce. And yeah, it's usually an uncontrolled mass decision brought on by various types of stress hormones, typically associated with being in tight conditions with other large mammals. Or large mammals, right? Yawn. I did a whole show on it. God, I learned this crap. Let me wax philosophical.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. I'll shut up for a minute.
No, you're good, bro.
This shows a probability of extinction based on fertility rates. Even with the massive population that the world has, and you might have seen that there may have been a miscalculation, so we have somewhere between 8 billion and 11 billion people on our planet. We actually have no idea how many people are here. But seeing fertility rates drop to about 2.2, maybe even 2, we haven't accounted for everyone, that is just replacement, which might be a good thing. Unless, we're concerned about the health of the world population. Now, we do see the probability of extinction go up, and that's not guaranteed. While models do tend to shake out as correct most of the time, they don't account for things like humanity. We can have a lot of ingenuity. You know what I think the real issue with lower fertility rates is, and I certainly don't think it's anyone concerned about the good of humanity. It's going to mean that economies, which are reliant on continuous growth, may collapse.
I just don't care. This is supposed to be some sort of soul-destroying discovery here, Squatch. I'm barely.
If you do any more watching on this channel, you'll find such things as human skin robots and human flesh dog robots, and this one's less problematic.
You've had this one on before. I don't know her name, but I know that face.
It's Gabriel Torch.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Gabriel Torch. And she is nightmare fuel extraordinaire. And I was actually expecting this to go a little harder.
That's right. You told her nightmare fuel.
She's actually
the blood computer girl.
Yeah, blood computer girl. Right. Yeah, nightmare fuel. She is actually not talking about the population itself. She's speaking more along the lines of the economics that support the population, right? And there are some variations in there that would change the math on it in actuality. Once you get into the physical feet on the ground circumstances, individual situations change. And so you end up with some families that have 8, 10, 14 kids, and some families that don't have any at all. And since we don't know how many people at all are on the earth, there's really no way to know what our population curve actually looks like worldwide. We can do a pretty good estimate and guesstimate on the US population curve and compare that to other countries that have decent record keeping. But ultimately, it's all a big grab bag of mystery, really, or how these economic models react to a shrinking population. I mean, we can kind of predict it, but we don't really know. 80-20 society, something like that.
That's right. Nobody is comfortable with stagnation. Stagnation is failure. Everything around us is reliant that our population keeps growing and production keeps increasing. I don't know if you figured that out yet, but that is inherently unstable. So what can we do about it? That
doesn't seem accurate to me. That sounds like communist propaganda. I mean, of course, the model is based around growth, but continuous growth is impossible.
Squatch, I need you to put me backstage.
Be gone, so saith the Sasquatch.
More babies? No. Humans are incredibly destructive, and we've destroyed more than our fair share of the planet. Should we stop living as long? Well, I think we're already on that path. The honest truth is nothing. We cannot do anything. I also struggle to think that humanity really will truly go extinct. There were 1,200 people, breeding populations on this planet.
Yes. All right. So when it comes to the population question of whether or not there are too many people, it is not a question of population. It is a question of density. We have too many people in cities, right? We have a infrastructure based around delivering the resources needed for cities in the mid-50s. And those infrastructures have not been increased or improved very significantly in that time, and yet the population densities of the cities have tripled and sometimes quadrupled. And yet people say we have an overpopulation problem, when really it's very small localities that are technically overpopulated. We can't get resources into the cities fast enough for it to be cheap enough in the cities to purchase. And so a lot of resources just don't get taken to the cities unless they're capable of making the money necessary to deliver it there, right? Take New York with their recent tolls for driving into the city at certain times. That whole thing was just a cash grab from delivery businesses and Ubers, basically. Those are the people that would be charged the most often and the most.
Planet, we're around 100,000 years in our evolutionary history. Life is very hard to snuff out, and I really don't think that humans are any exception. What I would like to not happen is any of the several dozen apocalyptic dystopian books that I have on my shelf. I beg of you.
So what do you reckon on all that? Skadoosh.
If you laugh at this next clip.
Right. When I run out of videos, that's impossible. Impossible. That's just not even a thing that happens around here. I've got another video. I've just got to pick it out right. Let's see. Make it smaller. Back it up one so I can get back on my.
Some researchers are concerned.
I know. Some researchers, blah, 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 blah. So we covered that. We covered this. Kind of want to watch Dead Bug Says, but I know it's going to come up with some kind of.
This game is called Media Fact Check.
I forgot I got this one. This is good. I like it. Y'all, some of y'all will be familiar with Acorn Stash. If you're not familiar with him, dear God, go subscribe. I don't think the link to this one is actually in the description. I wasn't actually expecting to get this far, but here we are. So I'm going to drop his channel link in the chat. No, I don't want the image. I want the freaking link. You're just not going to give me the link. I see how that is. Let's try it this way. Oh, no. I've broken Google somehow. How many moving boxes does he weigh? How many moving boxes? Who was that? Who was that said it weighs like 4 moving boxes? That was that old black woman. What's her name? She was calling for violence during the Summer of Love, wanting to torch the streets and stuff. Freak out. All right, we can all see, hear, and everything. This is my good buddy Acorn Stash.
How does it work? I cheat, then tell everyone you're a liar. It's a pretty good summary.
Kaboom. Love this dude.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Acorn, and today is Happy Sunday, which means it's time for Laugh While the World Burns, where we watch the idiocracy that is modern day society.
Well, the assault quadriplegic automatically semi-fully assaulted cops. Like, I went into it thinking that there was no way he was guilty until, well, he spit on some cops. Suddenly, I was like, lock his ass up. He heard that shit. He asked for it, literally, requested that he be arrested with his mother, which, I mean, whatever, man.
If you enjoy these videos, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, smash subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss out on all the new upcoming shows. Please help support this channel by watching this video all the way to the end and share these videos with your family, friends, and social media. We have a lot of good memes and some idiocracy news today, so let's get into it. When you're laughing at World War III memes and suddenly the sun comes out at 9 p.m.
Facts.
I'm afraid there's a lot of people that's gonna
I've played a lot of Fallout on this one.
See this one day.
Spaceman.
Instead of unaliving millions of chickens because of bird flu, couldn't we just lock them down in the coop for 2 weeks to flatten the curve? It works just as well. With people, it was about control. With chickens, it's about controlling and removing more of the food supply.
Dun, dun, dun.
Even a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the most evil person in the universe was a career politician. When someone says my partner instead of my boyfriend or girlfriend. No one notices as entire cast of The View replaced with shrieking feral pigs. No, if they hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have noticed. They look and sound about the same to me. Number of pediatric gender clinics in 2007. Number of clinics in 2022.
I'm just going to let that picture soak in here for a second. One of those is in Virginia. I just...
Yeah, it's just sickening. Your liberal aunt's
Much love,
driving to Thanksgiving, about to give the worst political takes you've ever heard. When you start a revolution over a 2% tax, and now see your population being taxed 37%.
Right? Jesus.
By the time we have all of our income taxes, and then by the time you're taxed on every dime that you spend, property taxes, sales tax, and the list can go on, I'd say it's probably closer to about 60% these days. The moment you realize the demons in the Bible referred to themselves as they, them, and
ooh.
The demons in the Bible referred to themselves as they, them, and we, us.
Oh, that's deep. That's so deep.
Fact check true. How do you say hello in France? ChatGPT. In France, you say, sadly, that's pretty much true. It looks like it's getting that way over in the UK and a lot of other countries. The Chinese and American spies in my phone fighting to steal my data.
Oh, that's just so on point. Oh, wow. That's good. That's good stuff. The only problem here is I think Bruce Lee might have been more American than Chuck Norris. Must be true.
Divorced woman demands refund from wedding photographer 4 years later. And yes,
that is what I refer to as entitlement. That is the height of you owe me culture. What's up, Art Party? Welcome in, brother. Just discovered a little piece of chicanery by at least some of the Canadian conservatives that should be a massive scandal, but likely won't ever get covered except by you. All right, brother. There's the link. Do you have some links? We'll watch it.
this is a real news story. And I just bet her name was Karen. Snow in the winter, protesters in the summer.
I feel like it's going to overheat. Is that just me? I'm a little concerned by okay, that's not a gun, that's a flamethrower. That makes so much more sense. That appears to be the end of a propane tank chopped into the top of a Geo wagon. I don't know. I'd give $1,500 on Marketplace.
Y'all really emailed my school because I was homophobic on TikTok.
Refresh, Grumple. I can re-share link, but I can't make the pin stuff be there for you. You know. Let me try to see this works. Buttons.
TikTok. LMAO. It's a Catholic school. They agreed with me. A 6-year-old transgender child is like a vegan cat. We all...
A vegan cat. Vegan cat. Ugh.
Know who's making the lifestyle choices. Socialism. Ideas so good, they have to be made mandatory. Nancy Pelosi sold $3 million in Google stock. Department of Justice sues Google shortly thereafter. A 57,000 square foot Temu warehouse in China went up in flames today. The total loss of inventory has been estimated to be as high as $56.19.
Shit. I'll send you 60, we'll cover it.
Imagine, if you will, a group of people so disgusting they have to make laws making it illegal to hate them.
That man has a point. That man has a point. That's deep.
They didn't want to make it illegal to hate them. They wanted to make it illegal to offend them. And they find everything offensive.
Facts.
Roses are red. India's climate is tropical. Patient unalives after family members unplug ventilator to plug in cooler at Kota Hospital.
Oh my God, these people vote. They vote. Savages.
You know, you see memes that joke about this, but it's not supposed to happen in real life. Don't believe him. He has no heart. He has no conscience. I've said this in past episodes, that this version of Zuckerberg, I honestly believe is an android. Then there's the other version of Zuckerberg that actually looks like a real person. Guys, if you want to play on the girls' team, you need to be fully committed. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what you're seeing on the screen right here? This is a gelder, a deballer. It hooks a tiny little super strong rubber band around your testes to prevent blood flow from them. And they fall off. Congratulations. You learned something today.
They do. Committed to a mental institution. McDonald's is sorry after customer found fragments of human teeth in his McMuffin. You're not ready for this.
Oh my God, dude. No, sir. No, sir. That's going to be a lawsuit. I'm going to lose my monkeys. If those ain't my teeth, oh, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No.
This conversation. No, I'm not. But I have.
Right after I find those teeth, I'm going to find out if that ice cream machine's actually broken.
I have heard things, and I have read some things in the past. Let's just say nothing would surprise me at this point. They may drain the swamp, but there will still be a lot of politics amongst the deadwood. They'll never drain the swamp because all of the ones who are high enough to be in the know will just run to their bunkers.
Okay. Yeah, if you can just print money, then why am I paying taxes? If your answer is to print my money every time there's a problem and then take more of my taxes, because every time that I make more money, the IRS comes to take that from me. I don't like it.
Believe it or not, one of the women in this photo is trans. Do you know which one? No.
Why does man look like Gru?
Because it's literally impossible to tell. All I can think of right now is that it looks like Gru. That guy. Men should understand that some of these girls bring friends to a date because of safety, not for your food and drinks. Then why are they eating and drinking? Some of them should be outside checking the perimeter. 1970s. If I work enough hours, I can buy a house. 2025. If I work enough jobs, I can afford rent.
Amen, sister.
Maybe. Wow, I'm so glad we found this app. Yeah, how did we ever do without it? Left foot, right foot. Breathe in. Left foot, right foot.
Welcome in,
Breathe
Greg.
out.
Good to see you, bro.
When you find out the girl you've been dating voted for higher taxes, there are plenty of morons that would be all for it. Mental illness ID bracelet.
Oh man, have you ever heard of? Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if I've shown it on any of this. I know I showed it on Flow Stage on Powdered Dusty's channel. The nose ring theory. Pretty much, if somebody has a nose ring, they wear their trauma as their primary portion of their identity.
$1 trillion.
I'm working on another one that's this finger glove theory. I'm working on it. Hey, what's up, Grumple? You gonna stay on cam? Nod, shake your head. Yes, no, maybe. Can you hear me? Flick me off. Tell me to go fuck myself. There you go. That'll do, girl. That's sexy enough. Oh my lord. What's up, buddy?
Wait, have people been impersonating other like content creators?
Oh dear God, yes. That's been going on since, I don't know, the dawn of time. Yes. Oh yes.
I have not seen. Okay, but I'm also new to YouTube, so okay.
Yeah, YouTube's evil.
Yeah, you started talking about taxes, dude. You like summoned me. I don't even know. Like I was not even here. I was in somewhere else, and like
You
I'm here now.
felt the YouTubery through the force.
The YouTube urethra,
Something like that. What about taxes?
Oh, there's a lot of them, and there shouldn't be like.
Well, yeah, if you're just going to print
any.
money, if you're just going to print money, and by the government's own admission, print money to solve problems, but they take my money for the very same problems.
And everybody who argues for whatever personal earned income tax that didn't exist before, I think 1918 in the United States, neglects all of the other taxes that you still pay that aren't personal earned income taxes.
And it was supposed to be a temporary measure to deal with the war.
Pay for the war.
Yeah. So,
but we know how temporary things,
that's why voting is so effective, right? It works every single time. It completely blanket takes your rights, and you're the one voting to do it.
Just get it passed. Just get it passed, because unwinding laws and things is very difficult.
It's virtually impossible. It is easier to ignore laws on the books than it is have them removed. By far.
Yeah, there's a lot of amendments, after kind of the first 10 that maybe you should have thought about those a little bit more, guys. Kind of like the original ones they thought about those. There was a lot of really good discussion.
There's a couple of few of them after the 10th Amendment that could have maybe took a second pass through. Like there should. Okay, voting. I was on the fence about this for a really, really long time, and I think it was Grid One went on a rant at me or at somebody while I was drunk one night, and for some stupid reason that rant stuck in the back of my brain and just percolated until it formed into his idea of that. I don't know. I still haven't hammered it through, but taxes are bad. Okay. Right. I don't like them.
Something to the effect of, if you got people that aren't paying into it, voting for where that money should be spent, kind of thing.
It had to do with the concept of it kind of goes along with the stakeholder concept of economics, right? In that if you don't own property, why do you have a say in the people?
In what property taxes are spent on?
Right. So if you don't own property, how are you a citizen, kind of thing? Like the voting structure being designed to deal with the people who are actually doing the businesses and owning the properties, not so much to deal with the homeless, right? Like the homeless do neither of these things except as a byproduct of their existence, having to purchase food and stuff like that. So it's weird.
I'm eating. I'm going to try and not eat on cam.
Oh, really? That's unfortunate.
Propaganda machine. People putting funny words on pictures. And yet, we all know that there's more truth shown in memes than anything you're going to see on the news.
So my new conspiracy theory is that the Onion writers have been hired by the writers for reality, and that's why everything's going crazy, is the Onion's writing the headlines of reality now.
It'd be funnier if the Babylon Bee was, if that was.
That's what I mean, is it's not actually funny when you think about the headlines that are actually happening. The Babylon Bee, it would be funnier, but the Onion, have you ever seen the head ripping off machine ad?
No.
All right, so the Onion, they did a visual bit for a while there before they crashed out, and one of the things that they did involved a brand new way of corporal punishment to end criminals, right? Works 100% of the time and is absolutely humane. And what it is a claw. It works 100% of the time and it's absolutely humane. They feel virtually nothing. And the reason is it's a big claw that squishes the head, pulls it off so fast that it's even faster than the speed of nerve endings. And so they don't even actually feel it.
Sounds very Futurama, but
yeah. I might go dig that up. We might take a look at it in a few minutes. We'll see.
No, it was called a certain kind of booth that it is not good to say.
Oh yeah, no, we're not going there. What does it say? In fact, hold on, let me mute this. We're funnier than he is. Wait, hold on. Tomatoes and onions.
You make us smaller or the main thing smaller because we're overlapping the words.
Yeah, let me tinker around here. Nope, that's not it. That worked?
Yes. Well,
except the ticker.
Oh, I'm girthier than you.
Well, that's because I'm longer. It's all right, but let's get rid of that. Do some of this.
Oh, there you go.
Paid $2 million to rent Oprah and lost. Put a sticker on a garbage truck and won. You gotta love it, man. God bless America, wrestlers. Yeah, don't use bat fertilizer. Don't try to collect bat guano. The reason, all right, hold on. This is an issue. The reason guano was valuable is because it had been accumulating for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years, and the amount of fresh guano in those caves was much reduced as opposed to a bat house where the amount of fresh guano is 100%. That fresh guano carries an amazing potpourri of diseases. One of my favorites happens to be a hemorrhagic fever known in the Southwest as hantavirus. This is basically Ebola on the air, bro. Like you go.
That's why you don't want to dry sweep where you think if they think there's like rodents.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you want to get it damp. You know, mop it. Don't, even though it's tough. It's like a pain in the ass. If you dry sweep it, it'll make it. You know, it could particulate airborne. You can breathe it, and that's how a lot of people were getting it.
Yeah, usually it's caught soon enough because it makes you really freaking sick, right? Before it becomes like a major issue, but it's still it's not good. Welcome in, Joker. Good to see you, bro.
If you do any composting on your own for like, backyard gardening or whatever, the kind of rule is you don't want to use manure from anything that eats animals, any kind of omnivore or anything, unless you let it kind of stew for at least 6 months, and then it should be safe.
I got one for you. There is a condition referred to as bin lung. Bin lung is what certain people get if they get involved in like beans. I'm one of these individuals. That's the only reason I know about this stuff.
Did you say involved in beans?
Beans. I am allergic to beans, legumes of all types, beans, peas, all of it. Okay. So imagine my shock when I get a job driving a tractor when I was like 15. And one of the things before we do all of that stuff, we got to go shovel out the freaking bin to put the new stuff in because they're unloading that last little bit around the edges are old. We got to get rid of those. And I go in there and I'm in there for like 20 minutes and spend 4 days in an oxygen tent looking like I'd rolled around in freaking poison ivy, which there was poison ivy on the bin on the outside, right? So we thought I had reacted to the poison ivy. Never crossed our mind I was allergic to beans. I didn't find out until I was 27.
That one's not all that common either. I think like peanuts, obviously very common. Maybe even like avocado, shellfish.
Well, here's the wildest thing. It doesn't actually kill me. The only reason that caused a problem is because I was basically breathing in dry particulate of, allergic reaction. So it would
of the thing that you're allergic to.
Specifically, yeah. And so if I eat beans, I have an upset stomach, a little more gas than usual, and heartburn like you would not believe. Peanuts, any of that stuff, sunflower seeds, all of it. And I'm in the South, bro. I live in Georgia. Peanuts was a big part of my childhood. So all of my life until I moved out of my parents' house, I was always the dopey, chubby, slow kind of, the slightly sick, always a little bit ill kid because I love freaking black-eyed peas, bro. I love black-eyed peas. And it wasn't
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
But until I got
you meant
on my own foods, subconsciously without realizing it, I never purchased beans myself. When I moved in my own apartment, started cooking for myself, I didn't cook with beans. I just wouldn't buy them. It would never occur to me to do so for whatever reason. Subconsciously, I knew that it was a bad mojo in there. So I'm kind of how every time I eat beans, I get heartburn. So imagine my shock when I'm 22 or whatever it was. And I decided, hey, there's a whole field of sunflowers. And I've never ran through a field of sunflowers. And my ass ends up back in the oxygen tent. It's a bad idea, yo. It's just a terrible, terrible plan. I know they're not beans, but they're legumes.
It's the same family? Okay.
Well, they have the same root structure that creates nitrogen. And part of that process is the specific chemical that I'm allergic to. And beans, liripy, monkey grass, there's like a whole swath of nature that I just can't mess around with at all. And it's not always obvious,
You're letting your enemies know your weakness.
Oh, they're welcome to try it. When I first started my channel out, I was watching this other channel. I can't remember the name of it. It was Punky something or other. It's like the Punky Brewer or something like that. Anyway.
Punky Brewster, like the show in the 80s?
It was a play off of that. It wasn't Punky Brewster directly. I think it was Punky Brewer or Pinky Brewer or something like that. But she kind of dressed like Pippi Longstockings, which I thought was absolutely absurd. But anyway, I mean, mixing metaphors like crazy over here. And she was really weird, one of those LGBTQ trans pro, very outspoken.
The LGHD TV community. Sure. Yes. I've missed them.
And so when I was first starting my channel out, we were chatting and chat. She has no live viewers at all, right? She just she does plants. Nobody watches that live. So we were chatting and this was right when I'd started doing StreamYard, and she was just messing with StreamYard. And I went up on there. We had a conversation, and she gave me her James Bond villain plan for how she was going to kill me. What she wanted to do was outlaw the eating of animals and put the correct peptides in beans, and then mass produce beans and force the population to only eat the bean protein available. And I was like, madam, are you just going to take me out behind the woodshed, put a bullet in the back of my head before you start this? Because the end result will be exactly the same.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of extra steps. Like,
to just, yeah, exactly. You could just beat me to death with Lucille. That would be more humane than forcing me to eat your tofu meat.
You can you can buy, excuse me, you can just buy a framing hammer at like Home Depot, use it, and then return it.
Just wash it off a little bit.
Yeah, just wash it.
A little rinse. Right. All right.
That's the part. You can return it, and it goes right back on the shelf.
I'm fixing to end the show. I've been going for 2 hours. Stick around backstage for a second. I'm going to play a little play out real quick. And then we're going to bring everybody that's backstage or refuses to show their face up here. Because I have strange friends who are YouTubers that don't want to be on camera or on. It's so weird. What a strange place. We're going to do the weird thing.
Oh my God. This is so weird.
This guy is Teflon. He is like who in the world could I say nearly 100 felony criminal charges have been leveled against the former president? And he is still like rallying and campaigning. I feel like he like eats this shit and it just like makes him tanner and younger and stronger. I feel like he eats it with like a golden spoon that's like emblazoned with the Mar-a-Lago emblem, and he's just like, give me more charges. It's like amazing. You better not cut that and make that a video.
I wouldn't do that. How dare she say that? Thank you for coming by, folks. This is the end of the show because
I gotta bounce. Thanks a lot for proving just how